stages of product development. How can you take what you already know and turn that into a product? How do you know when you're ready to deliver that to people? And how do you know when you're ready to advertise that to people? When I think about product development, I usually break it down into 8 stages. And the first stage is market research. This is where you're learning more about what people want or need. You're learning what people will pay for, and you're learning about their pain points. You're trying to learn as much as you can about why they're struggling with those things, what's stopping them from succeeding or moving forward, what are they really dealing with on a day-to-day basis that is a barrier or a roadblock for them. And that's the best way that you're going to understand how you can provide value to them, by removing those roadblocks, helping them overcome those barriers. Market research is a stage that a lot of people overlook. That's a big mistake in my opinion. You're gonna really use that information that you learn throughout all of the other stages. So it's really, really important. A lot of people talk about market research, and you might be thinking right now, well, Chris, okay, I've heard the term market research. What does that really mean? We're gonna interview people from our target audience. The first thing you wanna do is not to sell to them, but just to talk to them. Look at comments on videos. We can go to forums. That can really be helpful. It'll provide us with basic language to communicate back how we're going to solve those problems and to really show our audience that we know what they're dealing with. So stage number 2 is the product outline. Now that you've collected all of these issues and pain points that your target market is dealing with, make a big list of everything that could possibly be included, everything that you think you could teach someone or everything that you think they need to know. And then after you do that, you're gonna see that you just have a huge list of things, and it would take a really long time for you to teach someone all of those things or to help them with all of those things. Oh my God! You're gonna try to separate those things that are in your list based on how high value is it to the audience, and then also how high cost is it to you to provide that service. The analogy I like to use here is Cirque du Soleil. They saw that circuses were popular, theatrical performances were popular, and they combined these two ideas. They actually got rid of some of the things that were high cost but were not very high value. It was really expensive for them to maintain animals, to keep animals, feed them, and take care of them, and then move them to every city that they went to. That was a big negative of the circus business. And so they took that out and they added in other things that they thought the audience would value more. Basically, when you're making your product outline, you're gonna list out everything that you can think of. Then you're going to filter it based on value and cost, and then you're going to filter it based on which of these things is going to get them to the result fastest. And so when we break all of those things down, what we'll basically have is an MVP, or a minimum viable product. An MVP is really like a basic version of your product. It's the minimum amount of things that you need in order to get the result. Remove as much as you can so that you can get down to that MVP. The third stage of product development is your marketing message. And your marketing message is how you talk about the thing that you do. You're only gonna put things into a product you can easily learn or quickly learn, or that you've already mastered or you already know. That product outline is gonna include things that you feel pretty confident that you can deliver. When we get to the marketing message, you're not just talking about what's in the product outline. You're not just talking about what you're gonna do for them. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make, especially when they're starting out, is they just list off features and benefits. Instead, the marketing message needs to be focused on the end result that the person is going to get. And when we focus on that end result, and we focus on the outcome, and we focus on what life is going to be like after they've achieved that result, we're able to psychologically get the person to understand the value of what we have. And if you're just talking about features and benefits, that's what the product itself might be. That's what the useful content that you give them might be. It might actually be these lists and descriptions of things that they need to do. Kind of like this video, right? Just giving you the instructions. I'm not trying to sell you. If I were doing that, which I would probably do in an advertisement, I want to invite you to an exclusive free training. Then I would be talking to you about how once you develop a product the right way, you'll have a product that works for you forever. So you can sit back, relax, and your product sells itself. Yeah! That kind of language is better for marketing the thing. The product itself is going to give the instructions and tell them how to do it. Teachers shouldn't be focused just on the delivery of their product. They also have to be focused on the sale of their product. And a lot of teachers get stuck in the delivery part. They think if I just make a great product, then people will want it. And that couldn't be further from the truth.
It's not true. That's impossible!
You can be the best teacher and have the best product, be the best at what you do, and if nobody knows about it, you're not gonna have customers. You can be a great operator and a great teacher and great content creator, but you'll need to team up with someone who's a great marketer too, or you'll need to learn those skills.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now that we've covered the first 3 stages of product development, this is the line that I call the delivery line. It's the point where we might actually start delivering our product to customers, because the next stage, Stage 4, is getting the first client or the first customer. And getting the first client or customer is a step in our product development that a lot of people overlook. A lot of people think, okay, I made the product, I designed the product, and then when I get the first customer, nothing changes, I just deliver the product. That's not true.
Awesome.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
The first customer is going to really help you design and develop this product, because we haven't actually made the product. We just have a product outline. So when we get that first customer, we're using that marketing message and we're using our confidence that we can deliver the product.
I don't have any confidence about anything.
We're using those to sell it. So once we've made that first sale, now we have to actually deliver the product. So now we have to actually go and make something. And the first customer is going to help us make that, because they're going to give us a lot of feedback, and we're going to give a lot more personal attention to that first customer. In fact, the first few customers, they're really, really important.
If something is important in your life, you should treat it in an important manner.
Approach that first customer in the way that they're kind of like our teammate, because they've invested some money by paying for your product. So they're like a first investor in your product. They're participating together with you to create that product. A lot of people, they spend a lot of time making a product. They spend a lot of time creating all the pieces. And then when it comes time to sell it, unfortunately, they figure out that nobody really wants that thing.
Nobody even wants you here.
Or very few people want it, or it's not gonna work the way that they expected. To avoid all of that heartbreak and pain, we need to do it the other way. We need to design it in terms of making an outline and knowing how we're gonna talk about it to a certain audience. But after that, we don't wanna go spend a lot of time creating it. We wanna spend a lot of time getting the first customers. And so once we've got that first customer comes in, we really dedicate time and energy to working with them and giving them what they want and listening a lot to how they imagine that this product should be and what this product should do for them, designing our work around that. And that will help you get to the point of the first sale much more quickly than if you do it the other way around. And I know that that's kind of counterintuitive. It's kind of the opposite of how a lot of people think. Some people even say, like, isn't that like lying, or isn't that dishonest because you sell something that you don't really have? But that's not how we do it. Yes, if you say you have something and then you take money for it and you don't really have it, that's lying. That's dishonest. Don't do that.
No, don't do it.
What we're doing is we're making a promise to someone that they will get something in the future, and we are very confident that we can deliver that thing. You see, there's a big difference. Lots of businesses do it this way. I mean, even Tesla making cars.
It's priced at around $123,000.
They took the first orders without having the cars ready to ship. And it was 6 months, even 12 months later that people received their car. People do this all the time, even with physical products. Even with delivering our course and our knowledge and our information that we have, we can describe what we're going to do in the way that, focuses on the result. We're going to help them get that result. If we don't describe all the features and benefits, it's not going to be so difficult to explain why they don't exist yet. We're going to promise to help them get a result. And if we promise to deliver something specifically, then we need to say what time frame we're going to deliver that in. And that's how we're going to avoid being dishonest or lying in the way that we're selling. The next stage of product development is what we call the proof of concept. Proof of concept basically means first you had an idea about how all of this stuff is supposed to work. You had an idea about how the product is supposed to be, how you're going to find customers, who those customers are going to be. You had some ideas about how all of this stuff works, and the proof of concept concept stage of product development is where we've already made a lot of those first decisions. We made those promises that we talked about in the last stage. We've started to fulfill those promises and do the things that we said we were going to do. And we found a reliable way to do them. Repeatedly, reliably come into our program or start working with us or become our client, and then do a few steps the same way or in general, follow a pattern that gets a result. It's a reliable process or system, and each new client, we can implement this thing and it works. So that's what proof of concept means. On the marketing side, what it really means is that we know how we need to talk about this thing so that people buy it. We know which problems we're solving so that people know what they're getting when they buy. Proof of concept, in my opinion, requires you to get a certain number of clients and to work with them to success. One way to think about it is if your product is expensive, you probably need about 10 clients before you can say that you have proven this concept. If your product is cheaper, you might need more clients before you have that proof of concept. It might be 25, it might be 50, it might be 100.
Do it!
You need to be working towards getting enough customers where you can say, okay, this thing works and it's repeatable and it's reliable. The next stage of product development is what I call time tested. A lot of times you'll see someone who thinks that they've achieved the proof of concept stage, but in reality, they just got a lot of people at the same time doing one thing, and then that thing changed. Markets change all the time, economies change. We need a decent amount of time where our proof of concept continues to work in order for it to be time tested. So let me give you an example. Sometimes in the market, there's a trend. There's something that's popular now. A lot of times we'll play into those trends. That helps us to get a lot of traffic, a lot of people visiting our website, or a lot of people contacting us, sending us emails, or booking calls with us. Playing that trend might be successful, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a successful business because trends change very quickly. If your whole business is built on a trend, it's not time tested. It's not really a proof of concept. It's just something that worked at that time. Prove that it works, and then we want to keep proving that it works and keep proving that it works and keep proving that it works, because that's the only way that we're going to really know that it works. Don't you want to be very confident about your product working and your marketing working before you dump a bunch of money into it? I know that's how I am. I don't want to put a lot of money into advertising it and marketing it unless I know 100% this thing works, people want it. That's why I call this stage the time-tested stage. Now, how long do you need to go for it to be time-tested? Depends on a lot of factors, but I would say at least 3 months. You probably want to have the proof of concept and prove that it continues to work for at least 3 months. To be on the safe side, 3 months is a good period of time. 6 months is even safer. A year is even safer, right?
Today, y'all gonna be learning how to be safe in these streets, you dig?
We want everything to be safe and reliable, and we want it to be scalable, and we want to prove the concept again and again. And so from that point of view, it's okay to wait. You have nothing to lose by not spending money on advertising and waiting and being very confident. On the other hand, we need to make money from this thing. We don't want to miss the opportunity in the market. So we want to move quickly to try to scale it up, to reach more people. So from that point of view, we don't want to time test too long. We want to go into advertising quickly so that we can reach more people. Great. So those were the first 6 stages of product development. And this is the paid advertisement line. After you've done those first stages, this is the point where it's safe to go into paid advertising. And this is the Catalyze stage of product development. If you've done everything else correctly, now you go into paid ads and it's just gonna explode what you have. If you're very confident, you've already proven the concept, it's been time tested, you've done all of the steps that I've already told you about, then at this point, things just blow up. You just start making a ton of money, you start getting a ton of sales, a ton of clients, and new problems present themselves, like growing your staff, growing your team. There might be some tech issues that you run into, like server space and things like that, and CDNs.
No! God, please, no! No!
What's interesting is things start to break down a little bit more. When you're moving slowly and you're only working with 20, 30, 40 customers, and all of your systems are working like clockwork, it's easy for you and maybe one teammate to do things, or just you yourself. Imagine getting 100 new customers every day, right? That's gonna change things for you. That's where you're gonna have to go back and revisit all of your systems and rethink some things. So the Catalyze stage is where you make explosive growth, but in an explosion, things break, right? Things blow up. You need to be really ready when you get there, and you need to have some kind of support to lean on. In that Catalyze stage of your product development, it's more about the supporting structures around your product. It's less about the product itself, and it's more about how you support that product and how you support the customers and the team who are working with that product. The last stage of product development is what I call accelerate. If you are making $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month or more from your teaching business or your teaching activities, then I might be able to help you, get to this stage quickly and then to guide you through this. This is where you're really just trying to speed up this higher level process or system that you have in place. That means that you've proven that this product works. You've proven that the marketing works. You have proven that people want it and that you can deliver it. You're getting results for your clients. You're just trying to speed things up. You're just trying to make that process repeat over and over again much more quickly. Going at light speed, making a lot of money very quickly, it can also damage your reputation if you don't handle it the right way. You still have to stick to your mission, to your values, and your product still needs to solve the problems that it was made to solve. Sometimes this is where the owner or the face of the company or the face of the product tries to exit out of things. And we have to find that healthy balance between where can this person experience more freedom so that it's more of a passive business for them, but at the same time, how can they appear and do the high value activities? A lot of times you'll see that as a product gets bigger and bigger and has more customers, the person who was really authentic and wanting to help people and played a crucial part in growing this business, they'll try to take a step back. And that requires some special steps. Taking a step back, removing yourself from the business more or less, and just becoming more of like a figurehead, just a face that represents it instead of being the person who actually does all of that work. At that stage, the product kind of takes a shift also because a lot of people build the product, the original product, on themselves. And so as it grows and it grows, it becomes less viable to do that. We kind of need to exit from this business a little bit, or at least from the day-to-day activities. We need to move into the role of manager or manager of managers or, president or CEO of this company. Those are different skills than are required to just build this thing from the beginning. Those are the 8 stages of product development. My name's 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗲𝗲. I started teachingrevolution.com, where we help people sell the knowledge they already have to people who need it. If you want more videos like this, press subscribe. I've also got a free 7-day basic training program that will walk you through how to get started or how to grow the teaching activities or the teaching business that you already have. And so I'll put a link to that under this video as well. If you'd like to jump on a call with me and find out how I might be able to help you in your business, then I'll put the link under this video for that too. So thanks again for watching this really long video. I really hope that it was useful for you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.